and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey.
We are live! Who says the Kings can't win on the second night of a back-to-back? The streak is over. The Kings have finally done it. Welcome to a late edition of Night Chats.
What up, Deuce?
Hey.
Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
Wow.
I'm rooting for y'all.
What a night. What a night.
A roller coaster ride of emotions, just kind of like the season. I felt like we played one season tonight in a game that lasted
72
2 hours and 59 minutes. The Kings survive and beat those dogs in Orlando, 138 to 135 at the Golden One Center. Unbelievable. I'm just glad they got it done. Insane. And in an 82-game season, there's going to be moments of the year where you just can't get your shit together. And your best player who's scoring 30 every night is going to have a bad night. Are you going to find a way to get it done? And the Kings blew a lead in the fourth quarter. Orlando took the lead, and the Kings kept finding ways to keep the game in reach, to force overtime, then go to double overtime and get the win tonight, even being down in both the overtime and double overtime. Wow.
It's a little too much for me.
Too much?
Yeah. Too long. Too much. I was just like...
You were too stressed.
I was too stressed. It's just difficult situation at home right now. And I was just like... I was just in like, honestly, it was just one of those games where I was just like, I can't be stressed out for this many more overtimes. Like, it was not good for my mental health, my heart. And you should do something about that. Maybe the Kings should just like not get in a situation where they're like this in every single game. But because they won, it was like, fine. I spent 3 hours watching that.
To me, it was just find a way. Just get it done.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't matter what it was going to look like, especially with what happened last night. You're going, man. I mean, if we were sitting here and the game was 2 hours and 10 minutes, and it's because the Kings lost in regulation after being up in the fourth quarter, we would be thinking really bad things about this team. But there was a level of resiliency tonight, which you could appreciate. My goodness. Now, on the flip side, I know we're going to start the podcast and talk about all this shit. I'm so impressed with Orlando. To be this shorthanded, losing Wagner during the game, and then Cole Anthony doesn't play, you lose Gary Harris, and they just battled. They got a lot of dogs on that team. Jamal Mosley deserves so much love.
Yeah.
How are we doing, Night Chat? Late, by the way. Late. Second night back on a Wednesday night.
Super late. And it just... transparency, it smells like dog poop in here again.
That's great.
And there was a little dog throw up in the other room too. So, but I'm like, hey guys, why are you pooping and throwing up? The Kings won. You know,
because they were so excited. It was a roller coaster ride of emotion. Appreciate you guys. Hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. 916 Outdoors, 60% from 3. How? Yeah, we have a lot to go over on this one tonight. My goodness. So hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. I know there's no like fog machine tonight, especially with Carlin. Big appointment for Carlin tomorrow. We'll find out some more about him. But tonight, it's just a night you go, wow. You take a deep breath and go, you got it. You're 20-13. Let's go.
20-13.
Hey, 2013. I think last year they were 20-18.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. No, it sounds good. I'll take it. I'll take a win however I can get it.
Oh, man. Okay, I need your spirits to raise up a little bit, Morgan. Raise up. I know the dog pooped and all this stuff, but we're here. We're locked in. We're going to have fun. The Kings just won a double overtime game at Golden One Center.
Yeah. No, I am pumped. I am. Can I be honest about one more thing off my chest?
Yeah.
If one last thing, it was really because I had so much fun working with Matt and Chelsea. Like it was us three together for the first time. So much fun. And I'm working with two basketball minded people. And there was just too much video that was running in our post game show. And we just didn't get a breakdown enough. So I'm really glad to get a breakdown stuff here.
Yeah, that's great. That's the exciting part.
I was just getting that off, like the last thing off my chest because I was like feeling that. I was like thinking about this. I'm like, that's the instant reaction. We had really cool interviews with Trey Lyles, who I called Trey Bay. I was like, Trey Bay.
You did not.
Yeah, I did.
What did he do?
Did
he smile? Did he realize what you called him?
Trey Bay. Why is that not?
You called him Trey Bay?
I think Matt said it first. Like Matt was like kind of said it first. And then I was like, well, I'm committing to this. Trey Bay.
That's a good gimmick.
Good bit.
How's everybody in the chat feeling? I see the poll question up. Who is your player of the game? Malik Monk, Sabonis, or Keegan? Overwhelming right now, Malik Monk. But I guess we'll find out who the rock and soul player of the game is. Morgan's not being a Debbie Downer. She's just, there's a lot going on,
What? Yeah, what is that?
Jake, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even read that. But I was just talking about me being a Debbie Downer. I mean, no. Deuce told me to take a deep breath, and I took a deep breath, and there's dog shit particles within that breath. So I'm trying. No, I'm good. Seriously.
All right, let's have some fun tonight. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Appreciate Brad for being here. Andreas, appreciate that. God, you're just always trolling in the chat. We just got to get rid of you for a bit. Okay. See you later. Thank you so much to Ian. We got Will. No Huddle Hawkeyes, baby, is in the building. Thanks so much to Kings Fan Sneak. I see Jason, Daniel. You guys are the best. Jesse, James, All Gas, No Breaks. What's up, Luke? Thanks for being here. All right, Deuce and Mo. We're coming down in 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. We're starting this podcast late. This Kings game tonight lasted 2 hours and 59 minutes. It took big shots. It took some adversity. And at the end of it, we can all take a good breath in because the Kings survived an absolute battle with an Orlando Magic team that was shorthanded tonight. Franz Wagner left early in the first quarter with an injury. They lost Gary Harris, and they had no Cole Anthony, but they did not go away. Paolo Banchero showed why he's one of the best young players in the game. Jalen Suggs played like a dog, but Malik Monk was there. And man, did he play at a high level, especially after what went down last night against Charlotte, and the Kings survive. They beat Orlando in double overtime tonight in Sacramento, 138-135. They are now 20-13 on the season. I'm Juice Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. Each and every one of our podcasts presented by our friends over at Northwest Exteriors. Check out northwestexteriors.com. Woo! A 2-hour, 59-minute basketball game with emotions galore, some calls that left you scratching your head, some moments that were just so frustrating with the Sacramento Kings, but the end result was a nice one, Morgan Reagan.
The end result, if I didn't get that end result, I don't even know if I would be here right now. I don't even know if I would have done the post-game show. I just would have walked out.
You're just, I'm done.
Just like, couldn't even handle it. One of my best friends, Janelle, was at the game, and she was texting me, and she's like, this is so great, like bonus basketball. Obviously, doesn't know basketball well, but it was just like, she's one of the most positive people in the world. And she had that positivity while I was throwing at her. Yeah, I don't know if this bonus basketball is going to be good for the Kings. I was just worried. I was worried. Not only do I not trust this Kings team right now with like consistency and we've seen some sloppiness, all these things. But on top of all that, the Orlando Magic were so tough tonight. And the effort that they put forth on every single night, but like seeing it against a team that I cover and I root for, I was just like, holy shit, this team is different. And so for the Kings to battle it out and find a way to get this win, it does feel really good.
Orlando, I mean, the way they got back in the game, remember, they're down big in this game. Kings led by 16 points. Orlando had like a 15-0 run going, and then they're taking control of the game. You're like, is this happening? Late game execution again for Sacramento against a shorthanded team. They're going to lose back-to-back games on the home floor. It looked like it was going to be painful, but man, the Kings just did not go away at all tonight. And on a night where your best player, De'Aaron Fox, had his worst night of the season.
Yes. Yep. Worst night of the season.
Fox was, at the end of it, 6 of 22, 0 for 5 from 3. He had 15 points. He had 7 assists. He had 4 rebounds. He looked exhausted. He just looked like he had an off night. And then you couple that with Jalen Suggs, who to me is one of the best on-ball defenders. He plays physical. He's got good size. He was relentless tonight, and he was dealing with Fox all night long to make his life challenging. So on a night where Fox goes 6 of 22, has 15 points, you find a way to win, you take it. I don't care. I don't care. You're
agreed.
There's 82 games in a season. There's going to be nights where you have to fight, you got to scratch, you got to claw to win. It doesn't make sense. And there's a lot about tonight's game that did not make sense. De'Aaron Fox struggling.
One of his first real big off nights of the season. And with that, and how many games in are we? Don't make me do the math.
I mean, it's 33 now,
Thank
but
you.
he's played like 27, 28.
In that too,
Yeah.
right. So he's played about that many games, and he's finally having like that dud game. Okay, great. It was nice to see the rest of the team step up around him, because how many times has that been a concern for us this season? We're like, well, Fox had to get 43 for this team to get the win tonight. Like, that can't happen every single night. I love the way that everyone rallied.
And the guy that I think rallied most, Malik Monk.
Yeah.
Malik Monk last night played 5 minutes in the first half. For those who skipped last night's podcast because you're casual, only listen when they win, my point was you don't bench one of your best players for messing up on the court. Malik Monk is one of the best Kings players. For him to only play 5 minutes in the first half last night when that Kings team was struggling, that was not cool. Then he goes back in that third quarter against Charlotte, hits a couple of threes, jaws at Mike Brown, the coaching staff. Then they talk again. It seemed fine. They try to squash it. Well, tonight, Malik Monk said, I'm coming out and I am going to be relentless. You're not taking me out. And not only did he play more than 5 minutes in the first half tonight, he played 19 consecutive minutes in the first half of this game. Malik Monk had 15 points. He had 4 assists in 19 consecutive minutes. He came in the first quarter and did not leave until that final buzzer at halftime.
I think Mike Brown is all about extremes sometimes, because it's like it always felt like an extreme, like, oh, Malik Monk can't play 30 minutes. Like, let's make sure it's 29-30, 28 minutes, whatever. And then he's like, oh, okay, you want to play more minutes? Here's 19 straight. Here's however many minutes he ended up playing. Like, he said 37 minutes. And it's just like, he did it, though. He showed up in all the minutes that he played in. He played some great basketball, and he carried this team to a victory. He was the guy they trusted tonight.
37 points. He had 9 assists tonight. 12 of 20 shooting. He was 7 of 13 from 3, 6 of 8 at the free throw line. He played 46 minutes. And a huge credit to Mike Brown, because we were both really critical of that decision last night.
Yes.
Tonight, you know what he said after the game about that?
What?
He said, I didn't do a good job of coaching him last night. He said, Mike Brown, this is from James Ham, he said that his mistake was to not pull Monk aside and coach him instead of just sitting him in the first half. They had a discussion today in the coach's office, and apologies were made on both sides.
Oh,
that's
my God! This team. Thank you for clapping.
That's
wow.
what you need to do, and you want respect as a coach. Those are the things you have to own up to your shit. Like if you want the players to own up and you want to hold them accountable, you have to hold yourself accountable. And last night, Mike Brown messed up, right? So what did he do? He not only talked to Malik Monk about it, but then he goes to the media and said, I didn't do a good job coaching him last night. Big time credit to Mike Brown for coming out and saying that tonight.
Publicly, behind the scenes, all of the things. It's just incredible how this team does take on that accountability, but it does start at the top, and we always talk about that, and Mike Brown being able to do that. And the thing is about this too, it never feels like it's for show. Because it's not. It's truly just he's communicating, not only, like we just said, behind the scenes, but he is letting everyone else know. And by letting everyone else know, it just allows us to have another level of understanding of who these people are, what type of team they are, and why even in a night like this, when we're like, man, you look at the way they had to battle this one out just to get the win, there's still so many other elements to this that had to lead to this type of win.
I also thought the Kings did a great job of going, you know what? Monk is the guy going right now. Not only is he scoring for us, he's pretty much unguardable. They're having trouble defending him. No matter what they do, he's hitting transition threes. He's hitting big threes. He's in the pick and roll game with Sabonis creating out of that. They didn't just go, all right, well, we have to force feed Fox because he's the best guy. Fox made some big shots late in this game that were crucial in the double overtime period. Credit to him for sticking it out even on a night where he didn't have it. Malik Monk did have it, and they do it. Go ahead. There were times De'Aaron Fox, you're like, oh, is he out there? He looked gassed out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. He just didn't look like he had it tonight. And so for Malik Monk to step up like he did tonight and the Kings get a bad game from Fox and still win, yes, there's a lot of things that went their way with Orlando being banged up. I just admire the fact that they just find a way to win. These are the games you have to just grind out and find a way.
We talked to Trey Lyles after the game on the post game as well, and he was saying, just after a loss like last night, they had to have some real discussions, and they, all buy into these discussions and holding one another accountable and changing the mentality. And it's just, it's pretty impressive when you have a group of men that are willing to do that. I think
And I left going, why don't you just start him at this point? And the reason it's simple. He's one of your best players. And I just think you start one of your best guys, especially right now where you start Chris Duarte tonight. He picked up 2 quick fouls. That's why Monk had to come in a little earlier than maybe anticipated. Duarte played 10 minutes and 24 seconds of this game. Keegan and Huerter played just under 18 minutes of this game. Monk's the best guy right now. So at this point, I am curious to see if he doesn't start. Okay, fine. You know what? I guess I get it. You want to keep him coming off the bench. This is the rule you want. His minutes have to go up. They have to. They can't be 25 a night. And I know it's trending up. He played 46 tonight. Malik Monk needs to be pushing 30 minutes a night.
Yeah. Well, yes. 1, yes. 2, you asked this question. I asked this question to Matt Barnes and Chelsea Gray on the postgame show, and I was like, all right, this performance. Why aren't we just going to Malik Monk when we're talking about that next shooting guard starter?
Yep.
And they were like, nope, right away, nope. And they talked about the importance of not only having someone that special coming off the bench and leading that second unit with his playmaking, with his energy, with his shot making ability, all the things. But it was interesting too, because Matt started talking about like, yeah, there's guys that just have so much pride for this game and they wear that badge of honor and they think starting is that badge of honor. But you can truly create that badge of honor being in that role as well. And it doesn't matter if you're starting the game. It matters if you're finishing the game. And you are seeing exactly who is finishing games. But on top of that, I'm with you. You have to see more minutes out of this guy. If he's not going to be starting, then play him longer.
And I know it was during training camp this year, Malik Monk was talking about how it took Mike a while to trust me. And I think I'm starting to earn his trust, something to that effect. I mean, this year, he's had to have earned your trust. But a game like this, close game, you're trying to find a way to win it. Malik Monk Sabonis, Keegan, a lot of guys stepped up tonight. They willed this victory. They had to give everything they had in the tank. Both overtime sessions, they get down, and there was a couple times you're going, well, Suggs just hit a 3 falling out of bounds, and it's a 3-point game. They just missed a shot. This is probably
insane.
over. And then here you go. It's Malik Monk hitting a big 3 because Harrison Barnes was attacking, got into the paint, and threw an incredible pass to the corner, and Monk buried the shot. There's just so many big plays tonight from others that I really, really admire this team effort. I don't care if the other team was shorthanded.
Yeah, I mean, and you just mentioned even Harrison Barnes, someone that takes shit game after
He was
game
good tonight.
after
He was
game.
good.
And it's like, yeah, he was good tonight. And it was in a game where this team needed it most, needed his whatever he was going to add. They did on the offensive end with 17 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, but in 36 minutes. And it's because he was trusted out there. And there's times where I'm like, he's a defensive liability. And then there's other times I'm like, his strength is needed tonight. And you saw that a little bit more tonight.
So many good things from this game, and a lot went wrong, too, throughout this game. But one of the things that we were talking about headed into the game, Morgan, was Orlando's ability to attack the paint. They're second in the NBA in points in the paint, 56 a game, just under 56, 55.9. And Franz Wagner is one of the best at attacking the basket. He gets a ton of points in the paint. Well, he left this game early in the first quarter with the injury. But you look at the end of the game and you go, wait, Orlando, who scores 56 points a night in the paint, was held to 24 points in the paint. Then Orlando, who is one of the league's worst three-point shooting teams. They're 29th in the NBA in three-point shooting at 33.4%. They hit a franchise record 25 of 44, 56.8%. A franchise record 25 threes for the Magic tonight. The Kings' game plan was pretty clear. They're like, we're going to cut off the paint.
And they sure did.
And they were going to live with the results. What did you think about the decision, the scheme of going, hey, we're just going to protect the paint and we're going to live with that. We're going to make sure to try to contest it. They're going to get some looks, but we're going to trust the numbers.
I felt like they didn't adjust ever. I was going to say they didn't adjust quick enough. I don't feel like they really adjusted. I felt like they kept packing the paint, which the game plan, they executed. They executed the game plan that they went in with, but they were trying to live with one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league and banking on them not making those threes. And instead, this team shot almost 57% from three-point land, making 25 effing threes. And on top of that, you had 2 of your starters each make 6 three-pointers. Banchero, 6 of 9. The efficiency from these guys, when it just felt like dagger after dagger after dagger, it was just absolutely an incredible three-point shooting performance from this Magic team. But I don't even know what you do in a situation like that. Like, do you adjust your entire game plan and then do they make adjustments where they go, F you, I'm just attacking? The
Kings have been so bad this year protecting the paint, right?
Yes.
They've gotten carved up in the paint. So you understand the game plan. And I get the thought process of, yeah, we'll live with the results. It doesn't mean you want to give up open threes. The open threes, they hurt. But what you want to do is pack the paint, right? Prevent anything easy and prevent some tough passes. Make them make the extra passes, and all of a sudden they're working late in the shot clock. But tonight, their guy stepped up. I mean, Suggs had that stretch where he had a 9-0 run by himself. He's hitting big-time threes, and some of it, well, they were breakdowns, and they were open. I don't like the open ones. Like, I need a contest. And that's what's the challenge when you're having so much. Your mindset is about controlling the paint so much that you're trying to recover, and guys are helping, and all of a sudden guys have to run out. Takes a lot of energy. And then if these are NBA players, start getting some confidence and seeing them go in, well, then you're in trouble. And Suggs felt he was feeling it tonight, right? Banchero was feeling it tonight. OKK comes in and he gets red hot from 3. He hits like 4 in a row. He had like a 12-0 run by himself at one point.
4 or 5 for him.
Dude,
it was
insane.
It was, yeah. The efficiency from beyond the arc was pretty insane. And I was I was to a point where I was like, well, it's not going to be like this in the second half, right? Like, there's no way. And I wasn't even thinking more, oh, the Kings will make these defensive adjustments. Like, you just think about it as players. That happens, right? Like, you get out of rhythm, you're feeling good. Okay, it's just a different type of game. It never was a different type of game for them all the way through the double overtimes for these guys. The Magic were just shooting incredible. And I'm with you where it was just more like, at that point, where were some of the contests on these threes? Where was the pressure?
I feel like they did a better
threes?
job later in this. Like once you got to over, like Jalen Suggs is hitting one fading out of bounds.
I was going
right?
to say there was pressure on some of these threes too, and that's the, I'm not acting like they were all wide open, but it did feel like the wide open ones allowed them to get out in a loss. But instead, like we keep mentioning, the Kings, they wanted this one more.
The other thing. Rebounding was great for Sacramento. They out-rebounded Orlando 58-39. Sacramento had 18 offensive rebounds to Orlando's 7. Sacramento had 23 second chance points in this game.
Wow. I mean, it was just the effort, the fight. It was all there. It was just, but from both teams. Like, I hurt just watching these guys go at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my body hurts right now. And I wasn't even playing that game. I can't imagine how both these teams, both playing on their second night of a back-to-back in a double overtime game where it was like one of the most physical games I have seen all season long.
Trevelyan Queen, okay, this guy was just signed by Orlando to a 2-way contract on December 27th. Orlando is faced with a situation where they're playing him tonight for 38 minutes. 38 minutes. The guy just got to Orlando like, hey, we need you tonight. We're shorthanded. We just lost 2 guys tonight. And then, and then no Cole Anthony, Joe Ingles is out, Isaac's been out. Like, some guys have just been kind of nicked up a little bit for them. But God, did they just battle? I mean, Caleb Houston knocking down some shots tonight.
But you know what's funny? It never felt like it dropped off with the Magic. It always felt pretty consistent down the line with whoever they were going with. Like, this is our game plan, and this is our identity as a team. This is how we play. And if you're not going to play this way, you can sit. And I thought that they just kept going at the Sacramento Kings. I feel like that's something that they've done to a lot of teams in the league this year. And we saw as of late, they started losing some games. They were playing Boston. They were playing Milwaukee. They were playing the Suns, just some of the better teams in the league. And you could see some of their youth against the Sacramento Kings. It was like, okay, this is a good matchup. And I was really worried about the length and what was going to happen to this King squad. The Kings got lucky that a few of their guys went down.
Wagner going down swung it for sure. And then Banchero, I mean, what a night. Career high 43 points for him on 13 of 25 shooting, 6 of 9 from 3, 11 for 14 from the free throw line. The guy's just huge. I'm standing on the court before the game going, is this guy for real?
Yeah.
Like, moves well. Can hit the 3. He's improved his 3-point shooting after a slow start this year. He could stop. I mean, he can attack, stop, pop, attack the rim. I mean, he does a lot of great things out there for Orlando. And he was a problem. I mean, the Kings had to eventually blitz him.
Yeah.
And that was their best bet. It was like, well, we'll blitz and try to recover because this guy is literally looking like a superstar out there.
What about that one defensive possession? I don't even know if it was in an overtime. I believe it was. And it was Domas Sabonis got switched on him. And the shot clock was winding down. And he's moving laterally with him. And shot clock buzzer goes off. And Sabonis just pounds his chest. And it's like, yeah. And in that moment, I truly was like so impressed with the way that Domas moved from side to side. He wanted it so bad, and he did it. He did exactly what he needed to do. And we talk about someone like Paolo Banchero, who had a career high night of 43 points and was making every shot, even with his eyes closed. And there were some of those big defensive moments from the Kings.
Trey Lyles had some big... How many charges did he take tonight? A couple,
but that one of the last ones was his biggest one of the game. It was... Can we talk about this? JTA going in and playing under a minute in this game, and Mike Brown just going, I trust you. And Matt Barnes said this. He goes, he didn't play for 4 hours. And then he's like, hey, get your ass up. You're ready to go.
I'm going to be honest. I was watching that when I saw him put JTA in and went, hey, Juan Toscano-Anderson, go check Banchero on this play. I thought he was insane.
I did.
I mean, I'm just like, this guy is red hot. And you're going to a guy who has not sniffed the floor tonight. Like, he might have... You didn't think he was playing tonight?
And it's
I know
be
it's like
ready
stay ready.
at all times,
I get it,
but like, no, I'm with you.
And the help was there.
Well, and that's where Trey Lyles stepped up
Yeah.
and he took that charge. He sacrificed his body. But JTA, he went by Juan Toscano-Anderson. That's, I mean, and that's what I was just like, what are we doing? Oh, Trey Lyles saved the day on that defensive play right there. Thank God. Yeah, so some interesting things that happened late, whether it's in regulation or in overtime, and then some of those calls. Again, Mike Brown challenging that Keegan out of bounds way too early in that game. And then
that was in the third quarter, 7:39, and Jay Triano popped up immediately and was like, challenge it, and it was unsuccessful. So they lost their challenge, which ended up being like a huge issue because of what happened at the end of overtime.
Yeah.
Right? Banchero on the drive. Juan Toscano-Anderson does a great job to poke the ball away. It looked like it was clearly off of Banchero. The officials ruled it Sacramento ball. Then there was a small delay. And what happened? Oh, you know what? We talked about it. We conferred. It's going to stay Orlando Magic ball. It's 127-125 at that point. The inbound happens. Banchero scores. Tie game. We end up going to overtime. And everyone's going, why couldn't the officials look at it? Why didn't they go look at it? They should have reviewed it. Well, the NBA changed that rule, I believe, a couple of years back, where under 2 minutes in a game, the officials are not going to review an out-of-bounds play. The only way they can review it is if there is a challenge by a team. And Sacramento did not have a challenge, so the officials couldn't review it.
Such a screwed up situation, especially it's like, wait, we can review so many things. We can go back. We have replay. And that was so clear and conclusive, just off of Banchero's fingers. And you even say like JTA tipped away. I think it just truly slipped.
I thought he hit it. And then it went off of Banchero's fingertips.
I think it slipped. I think it's
okay.
Like I think he was.
I have to see it again.
I think he was picking it up because I watched it over and over because I was so pissed off. And I think he was picking it up, and his momentum, he just lost it off of. Like it was the perfect storm that then ended up being the ugliest storm.
Smooth.
Thank you.
I guess the question is, do you think that we keep adding more challenges this year? If you win your first challenge, you get another one to use later. Do you think that coaches should just have a challenge to use in overtime for these moments, like under 2? What if you got an extra challenge in under 2 minutes of overtime?
I mean, obviously because of that situation, I'm like, duh.
Also, as irritated as I was about it, and I was, because those calls just suck because you feel like they sway the game. I'm going, hey, well, guess what? If you made your free throws, we wouldn't be talking about this.
I thought about that too.
Sabonis missed a few late tonight. Monk, who's been a great free throw shooter, missed one. And I'm like, well, you can't put the game in the officials' hands because they're humans. They're making mistakes, just like you're making mistakes by going 21 of 31 from the free throw line tonight.
Jeez.
The Kings, by the way, we haven't mentioned this a lot. They are 30th in the NBA in free throw percentage. At like 73%. 21 of 31 tonight, 67%. So it probably dipped a little bit. Last year, they were 78% from the free throw line. I'm not saying that's great, but it's sure the hell not 30th. Dead last in the league.
I don't get how that happens. Like it feels like it's one of those things where it's just no matter what, it's in the back of their head. Even if they're like, we cool. We know how to shoot the ball. This is a free throw. Duh. And for some reason, it just always feels like there's a little something extra back there. Just giving them a little bit of doubt.
It's crazy looking back on a double overtime game because I'm going through my notes to see what I missed and the emotions I felt during certain moments of this game, okay? But it's 116-113 the fourth quarter. Remember this, Morgan?
Okay.
116-113. Kings are up with 1:20 to go.
Okay.
And Banchero fell asleep. He had Sabonis on him. He fell asleep and didn't notice the shot clock was winding down and just dribbled in shot clock violation. That hurt. But then Keegan comes back down, misses a three way off. That was unbelievable. Then Fox, it's 116-115. The Kings go on the horn set, and it was interesting. Fox is bringing the ball up, and I see Sabonis say something to Fox. Like, I felt like he was trying to fire him up, like, you got this, you got this. They go to horn set. Fox misses a great look. To all of a sudden, he's 4 of 17 at that moment.
Damn.
Then Banchero comes down, hits a 3, 118-116. Monk ties it on that drive to make it 118 with 10 seconds left. And then Suggs had a shot when it was tied at 118. And Fox had a great contest, and he missed that three. And then we went to overtime. But that sequence was just crazy. It's just the teams were scoring so fast.
So fast. It was, I mean, you talk about even that Monk layup to tie it. I was losing my shit.
He had some crazy ass finishes
Yes.
tonight. And he's done that a lot this year, but man, his attacking of the basket. Oh,
I had so much doubt in this game too, which is like, it's crazy because Malik Monk, every time he had the ball though, I felt very confident. I felt, I'm sure it felt what his teammates felt. It was like, please do something. Please figure it out. And so much of it he did. I remember there was one time he was pushing it in the fast break and he went to spin on whoever got in front of him. And I think it was Suggs that came up behind and ended up being able to poke it away. There was a few of those. And there's times where I was frustrated with it, but not like how it was against the Hornets. This was a really good defensive team that was not going to give up on any defensive possession. Didn't matter if it was in transition, didn't matter if it was in a half court set. They were going to do something and disrupt. And I mean, just so much credit to the Orlando Magic. And that's why it's so nice to be like, I give even more credit to the Sacramento Kings for pushing through and finding a way.
God, they needed this so bad.
That is like, that is just how I feel tonight. It's just like, very thankful.
I'm just blown away by Malik Monk's confidence at all times.
At all times.
This guy, man, it doesn't matter. He's relentless, and against a good Orlando defense, he didn't care. He was going strong to the basket. He was putting pressure on the defense, making them react. And if he wasn't finishing, how about the dish he had on the attack to Sabonis, where Sabonis had the jam to give the Kings a lead again?
Oh my
God. There's just so many big plays tonight from Malik Monk where you're going, it's not just the shot making. I think so many times when we think of these awesome six men that come off the bench and they ball out, they're just buckets, right? Malik Monk is just so much more than a bucket. It's his ability to not just get his attack, set up his teammates, play with that spark and edge. I love it.
His ability to create for others. It's not even he's going, let me get in the paint so I can get you a good look from three. It's let me create something for you that is going to make you look good. That's going to make me look good. That's going to make us look good. And I think sometimes the way that he just slings that basketball when he gets in there and makes such a quick decision, it is exactly what we've talked about with him. It's his confidence that is driving him. I don't have millions. I would pay millions for that type of confidence and to just like bottle up. If he should bottle it up and sell that confidence, because my goodness, I think anyone in life, if you walked around with that type of confidence, you would be successful too.
And that's why he needs to be playing 30 plus minutes.
Yes.
End of story.
Yes.
And, okay, fine. Don't start him. If he's finishing games, whatever. I personally, at this point, with how the starting shooting guard spot's going, I'm going, why wouldn't you start him? It could make life easier for Fox. He doesn't have to work as hard all the time. It just opens up the offense. You could stagger the lineup. They don't have to play together all the time, but you play them together a little bit as it is. Why not? But at bare minimum, we can't be just playing Malik Monk 25 minutes now.
No.
It's just... there's too much out there. And if you're viewing him as just a guy that comes in and he's just going to launch threes, no, I just think his game is so much more than that. He's matured so much. He's much more in control than he's ever been. And that's a guy that I want on the floor late in games. He's a difference maker. He's an absolute difference maker for the Kings. Yeah,
and his effort alone on the defensive end too, just activity, knowing how to play passing lanes. It adds on both ends. You know, it's not about being elite at one thing, but it's exactly what you said, the maturity of his game just this last year under Mike Brown. And I just think it's super special when you do see an honest relationship like theirs, where they're able to I don't know if you want to call it fight. I don't know if you want to call it debate.
Yeah.
It's interesting, just really quick, because sometimes my mom says to me is like, you know, you and I, we definitely debate a lot. She doesn't want to call it fighting. Like, we'll debate a lot. And I go, yeah, but that's because our relationship is strong and we can bounce off each other like that. And I think sometimes it's boring when you're surface level with people and you don't get to dig deep. And I think when you dig deep, there's just something more special that you can actually build off of that. And I love the direction that these two are going.
I love the chat is popping right now. In the chat, someone says, I'd almost cry tonight. Let's go Kings. I almost cried tonight. Yeah.
That's cute. I'd almost cry. Almost, though.
It was one of those. It was fun to see two teams go at it like this from both sides.
Agreed.
Because even from Orlando's standpoint, you know, they've been struggling because of some of these injuries, right? They've had a tough schedule coming into tonight. They had lost 8 of 11 games. They just played last night against the Warriors, lost a tough one. You're going, all right, well, we just lost Wagner. What's that going to look like for us? You know, you could have just mailed it in. They kept playing. They kept going and going and going. Ben Carroll left the game at one point with a knee thing. Is he coming back in? He comes back in and balled out for them. And then from the Kings' perspective, same thing. Second, I have a back-to-back. You know, the crowd sounded very frustrated when Orlando's going on that 15-0 run.
Oh, my.
The vibes in the building weren't good.
They shifted.
And I don't know what the vibes would have been like in the locker room had they lost that game in regulation.
Yeah.
But to fight back like that, it's tip our cap to both teams, huh? Tip your cap for going.
I truly feel that way. I was entertained on what night is this? Is this a Wednesday night?
It's a Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Almost Thursday morning.
Wow. Almost Thursday morning. Very entertained. I was frustrated. I felt all the emotions, all the things. That was great. One of the other things I really wanted to bring up, you and I texted about this for a hot second. Alex Len. We didn't hear anything about him. Didn't see anything about him. Did not play. DMP. Wasn't sure why. Mike Brown put JaVale McGee in for 8 minutes.
I love, we have not even talked about Sabonis yet, Keegan yet. We're going right to Alex Len not playing.
Yes.
It just made me laugh.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay. Because it was very bizarre to me after again, it's going back to the rotations and everything just being.
If I'm Alex Len, I'm going, what? I'm doing exactly what you asked me to do. I'm going out there. I'm protecting the rim. I'm playing good basketball in my minutes. I'm playing controlled. I'm not making a ton of mistakes. I think he had a couple of turnovers maybe last night. I don't know the final number. Last night was awful. Okay,
yeah.
They played a bad basketball game against the Hornets. I want to play that guy. I mean, he's a good player. I think you want him backing up Sabonis. You know what he can do. And I don't get why he didn't play tonight and they went with McGee instead. And McGee played under 8 minutes.
Let's proceed with our starters.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say. I just thought it was funny that you were going
No,
there.
it's okay. Putting me down. It's okay. Get back to the guys that were dropping like 28 points and getting triple doubles, I guess.
I said last night Domantas Sabonis had the worst 23 and 19 game in league history last night.
So mean.
Tonight, 22 points, 23 rebounds, 12 assists on 8 of 14 shooting. He did have 6 turnovers. Turnovers were still an issue tonight. Both teams had 21 apiece. It was weird.
Yeah.
Orlando's obviously, they're nasty defensively. But Sabonis tonight was really, he played so hard. And I'm not saying
so hard.
It looked a lot better tonight. I think one area that hurt them early on is him trying to put the ball on the floor sometimes is not always the best thing, especially against a team that's got a whole bunch of length. We talked about Banchero. You talk about Suggs. Hell, the rookie Anthony Black, who I thought, man, play this guy some more minutes.
Right away, he was knocking down some shots.
And he's super long, too. Sabonis had some turnovers, but he was awesome.
Yeah. Sabonis, I know I want to go to you just talking about him putting the ball on the floor. I think sometimes I want him to try something else out. So I like it. I appreciate him doing it because he can be a threat. His game is so versatile. He's capable of doing so much on the offensive end. I agree with it. But it's like once it's kind of not working, adjust. Whatever it is that you need to do, whether it's square up, make a quick decision, or it's start lower or be in that high post, wherever you are best in whatever team you're matching up against. And I think against this Orlando Magic team, like you said, with those long arms and everyone having the ability to just like be handsy and
play
be
the passing
active.
lanes.
Yes, it was a lot for him. But who are we kidding? You go to his 23 rebounds alone. This guy, the way that he was battling down low and fighting with others for those rebounds and finishing off defensive plays when the Orlando Magic weren't knocking down their threes. It was just, his presence was felt. He was needed for those 45 minutes that he played in this one. And I just also love the way that he was finishing most of his shots. 8 of 14 from the field.
Yeah. A 7th triple-double of the season for Domantas Sabonis. And I don't know, he was playing with an edge out there tonight. He was all fired up. He was trying to encourage Fox to keep his head in the game because Fox was going through it tonight. And I just thought defensively, he was just everywhere. There are many times he had to switch out into Banchero, and he didn't back down from the challenge. I mean, that's a really tough matchup for him to be out there because of Banchero's ability to put the ball on the floor and get by him. But one time when Sabonis did come out, I think that's Lyles took a charge on a Banchero drive. He was in help.
A different time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So and how great is that when you know that your teammates have your help? Like, okay, they see this, they recognize, they're going to pack the paint, they understand what Banchero is capable of. Banchero can also pass the ball. I mean, he's a playmaker as well, but just a great job having your teammates back. Yeah, Sabonis, incredible job. His 12 assists too tonight. He only had 4, I think, last night with his 11 turnovers. It was just cleaned up. It was put together nice, especially like you said, because De'Aaron Fox was having an off night.
The next guy I want to talk about, and probably after Monk, the guy I was most excited about tonight was Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray tonight came out aggressive.
Yeah,
I hated seeing Wagner go down.
I know.
But before he went down, you talk about the confidence, the late shot clock, and it's the type of moves you want to see from Keegan Murray. Cross, boom. Took him to the rack. Wagner's not a small man. Wagner is strong too. And Keegan took it to him. He had another play where was that the play Harris got hurt? Probably not, but I think Harris was on him and he was physical, bumped him, cleared space, hit a jumper. Keegan wasn't just settling for threes. He was in attack mode tonight. He put the ball on the floor and had a jam. I think he had 3 dunks in this one. So Keegan had 28 points, and they only took 6 threes to do it. He was 2 of 6. But also, shout out to the 12 rebounds.
In his 12 rebounds, so being aggressive, getting them in there and everything. But
that's the Keegan we got to see every night.
Can we also look at this? 0 free throw attempts. So, like, no.
Yeah.
But Deuce, that's not even bad. It's just, it's interesting how many times he's taking contact and or just making a mid-range shot. Like, he shot well. And then, on top of all that, 0 fouls. So he was out there 46 minutes playing defense, not being overly aggressive and fouling guys. I mean, just a great job by Keegan Murray across the board tonight. Like you said, the 12 rebounds alone, you got to make sure everyone's crashing the boards and being aggressive. And I just love when you're seeing another guy besides Sabonis get in there.
It was huge. He also had 4 offensive rebounds out of those 12.
Yeah, just it's what a fun performance from him. And like you said, it wasn't just all threes.
This is obviously, it's like, do this every night, 28 points, 12 rebounds. But the way he went about his game tonight with the attacking, getting into the mid-range, going to the rack, having that type of balance, scoring at all 3 levels, and being decisive with your moves. I think there's sometimes like Keegan, you're just like, you just want to grab him and go, hey, let's go. What do you... Like, you got to, like, punch him or something to get him going. No, because that type of aggressiveness is what you want out of him consistently. And, yeah, you're going to have nights where you don't make shots. But if you're playing with that type of consistency with your physicality and your attacking and putting the ball on the floor and being confident with your dribbles, like, Franz Wagner is a competitor. He's going to make guys work. He's tough. And for Keegan to have the confidence to show off his handles a little bit he's been working on, I went, okay, those are the steps I need to see. He's still a young player who's barely into his sophomore year in the NBA. You've seen so many signs that it's going in the right direction for him. But before tonight, the last few games, he was struggling. There were too many times you felt like you didn't notice him. And you offensively, and you can't have those moments.
The on and off struggles or ups and downs or whatever you want to call it for Keegan, it's bizarre to me sometimes how it's amplified around this community. And I say that because I feel like people forget that this is his second year and that everyone's expectations. Well, isn't he the third guy? Isn't he already the third guy? Why isn't he the third guy already? And I was talking about that, I think, with Matt and Chelsea too, not about Keegan, but just the patience factor and how we all want instant results. And as soon as we have a definition for someone and how we think that they're going to be, we want it and we want it now. And I think with Keegan, when we see it, we go, oh yeah, can he continue this? Yes. But I also think we, as people that watch his beautiful work on the court all the time, need to also understand, like, yeah, there's still going to be those ups and downs as he tries to make this a consistent thing for himself.
And I think the point you brought up, and I know someone in the chat, Larry, might be bringing this up too, is, from a defensive standpoint, he's taken such a leap this year, and he's being tasked with some pretty challenging matchups. And that he's exerting an amount of energy that he didn't really have to worry about last year because he was getting targeted at times, but he wasn't. Mike Brown was like saying, "Hey, I need to go guard this guard or this wing." Like, yeah, they did a good job protecting him a bit, and his game was more of a catch and shoot 3 guy
for sure.
Well, now it's like, "Hey, Keegan, we need you to play physical. We need you to attack the basket. We need you to take some tough defensive matchups. And can you still like knock down threes and everything?" I think it's taking him a bit to like get comfortable in that. And also, hey, 82 game season, you're gonna have games where you suck.
Yeah.
I mean, like De'Aaron Fox tonight, 6 of 22. De'Aaron was not good tonight. Like this was. And it was like, what's going on with Fox? Is he coasting? I was like, no, you know what I think? He had a bad night, man. Bad night at the office. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, I'm not mad at 0 for 5 because that number could have been a lot higher.
Yes. Yeah, well, the first play of the game they ran, he took it right to the basket. I'm like, ooh, this could be a nice De'Aaron night. He's going to get it going a little bit. But, yeah, he could not get it going. He did hit a couple of big shots in overtime.
I was going to say.
Double overtime.
Yeah, there were some nice moments, him in the mid-range, where I'm like, all right, he's feeling a little bit. But it was nice because he also felt like, well, I can depend on Malik Monk. I have other guys that are stepping up for me right now that I can depend on. Just a beautiful team effort.
I'm looking at these numbers that Warren just sent us. on Twitter, and it's interesting talking about the threes tonight because Orlando's not a good 3-point shooting team, right?
Yeah.
Like, we know they're near the bottom of the NBA. He shared this. Wide open threes, teams against the Kings are shooting 39.5%. The NBA average on that is 38.9%. Okay, that's kind of the same. Whatever. Open threes against the Kings, teams are shooting 35.65%. NBA average 34.8%. On tight threes, tightly contested threes, teams are shooting 34.1%. The NBA average is 30.23.
I go, what is it? Are their arms not long enough?
Well, they're not a long team,
I know.
honestly. Yeah, and so I don't know. I think some of the contest stuff is tough at times. I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah, what is tight?
I think sometimes the looks that these players are getting from three, it's like they have like an hour to shoot it sometimes because the Kings are getting broken down on the perimeter. Tonight was a different story where, hey, they actually controlled the paint well. They just got destroyed from three. And those nights happen too. Like Orlando, it is insane to think about that this specific Magic team has a franchise record in threes. Wow. This specific team that's 29th in 3-point shooting.
Yep.
And I was actually at oh no, believe it, this is 2009.
Believe it or not,
their franchise record was 23 threes. Okay. 23 threes, I think.
Yeah.
And they tied it within the last couple of years. But the night they set their franchise record was against the Kings in 2009. It was really good Orlando teams with like Hito.
Did you read this?
Dwight Howard. I'll never forget it because it felt like the Kings were awful. And I was like 23 threes at the time. Felt like 800 threes. Yeah. Now you hear 23 threes. Like, that's a good night, but it's not insane. We've seen teams do that before. But in 2009, a team hitting 23 threes.
Wait.
Absurd.
Wait, was this really like a memory or did you like read that stat tonight?
I remember. I didn't know what the exact number was. I 100% remember.
I'll never barely remember the first quarter of this game. Like that feels like that was a long time ago.
Now I'm going to go look back up 2008, 2009 season. The Kings that year.
What the fuck is your mind?
They won. Oh, this is when they won 17 games. My God, dude. The Kings won 17 games this year, and we got people complaining when they're 20-13. This team sucks. Right?
We can show you sucks.
Let's see here. I'm going to go back. So 2009, Orlando. All right. The final score was 139-107. The Kings, after loss, fell to 9-30. Holy shit.
Jeez.
That night, Orlando, 23 of 37 from three.
How?
This is 2009, guys. Teams didn't do this.
What? I am stunned that you had that
Jameer
number.
Nelson, 5 of 5. Rashard Lewis, 3 of 5. Hito, 3 of 5. JJ Redick, 4 of 7. Keith Bogans, 4 of 6. And tonight, this Orlando Magic team, near the bottom of the NBA, sets a franchise record, 25 of 44 from 3.
Wild memory from you, but wild.
I was at the game.
I was at the game. I don't even remember what game I went to in 2009. Like, I just don't recall these things. The mem doesn't click.
Well,
doesn't work.
I remember the painful ones.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
Either way, interesting enough that it's against the Sacramento Kings when they set a new franchise record for 3-point shots made in a game.
What else did I want to mention tonight? We were talking about three. We talked about Keegan, Malik. De'Aaron's a really rough night. I mean, go ahead.
You can go. We could go Duarte Huerter, and the reason why we could go there because on our pregame show, because it's sponsored and everything, you have to do this like poll, and the poll was Who should be the shooting guard going forward? Chris Duarte or Kevin Huerter?
And then Malik drops 37 off the bench.
Malik dropping 37 off the bench. Huerter playing 18 minutes. Duarte starting and playing 10. 0 for 3 from the field. 0 points. 3 fouls. And I'm like, you listen to Mike Brown in the pregame. Before the game, talking about. Someone asked him if Sasha Vezenkov was going to see any time or something. And he was like, Sasha could play tonight. You saw Chris Duarte not play, and then now he's a starter. Like, every guy has like equal opportunity to get these minutes. And if they show something, like, it's going to change. It could change how I rotate guys and how I make my decisions. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, that's fair. He's not lying about how he looks at his rotations, and you saw that again.
Well, Huerter and Duarte combined tonight to play 27 minutes, just under 28 minutes. 2 points, 0 for 8 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3 with 3 turnovers.
7 rebounds for Huerter, though.
I did notice Huerter tonight was competing much more defensively. The one play I remember, he had a nice defensive play. I felt so bad for him a couple of times. He had a nice defensive play, and then he came down and took a transition 3 that Malik Monk, I think, wanted to kill him. Because Malik Monk's wide open, like jumping up and down, and Huerter is just launching like...
He felt like he needed
wanted that.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
I think he needed that. And then he had another play where he had the steal, and he was taking it to the rack, and you think, oh, I got an easy jam. And he got absolutely rejected by Queen.
And it was great defense.
It was a great defense.
Great defense. Like, there's nothing he could have done, except I think there was a player trailing him, a teammate. It might have been Malik. But there was someone trailing him that he could have dished it off to. But I don't blame him for being like, no, I got this. Yeah, there was some frustrating moments. But, those 7 rebounds alone, I saw him competing.
Yeah, he's just in such an offensive rut right now. It is we've talked about a lot. I'm just stunned. I'm stunned that the drop off has been like this, because it's not like be a good 3-point shooter. He's shown he could be cool with Mike Brown this year. It's just been, I feel like he's been a little more rigid this year. And I think he is feeling the pressure of like wanting to take this team to the next level, where some of he's much more quick to take a guy out and put him on the bench, like almost like playoff level type things, where in the playoffs you go, hey, it's got to be tight. We got to tighten the rotation. If mistakes, we're trying to win these games, right? And this happened the regular season. So a guy like Huerter, who, like, I think his confidence is shook. I think his confidence maybe got shook during training camp when it was mentioned that Duarte could potentially start. And then he started the preseason game, and that's a challenge.
And Joseph says, guys, it's more than a rut.
He's in a major rut right now.
Yeah. Oh, because he was saying it's not a rut. No, it's a rut.
Whatever you want to call it.
I love that you looked up the definition just to be like, no, I'm pretty sure rut is the, yeah. And I think too, sometimes you say we don't talk about the mental side of things and how that can affect people. It affects more than others. When De'Aaron Fox the other night, after the Hornets loss, was like, hey, my mentality is when I leave this arena, it's on to the next. And although it sounds easy to get there, it's not. It's not. And if you're someone that will just be like, you just got to figure it out. You just got to figure out. I've said that at times. I've definitely have said that, like, hey, you just got to figure it out and understand the personnel of your coaching staff. Like, if they're giving you a short leash, then you got to figure it out. It doesn't make it any easier. And there's people who won't be able to figure it out, or that style of communication or expectations just won't work with certain players and people in sports and in other jobs.
I've said it before. I'm big on track record. He's had a track record of being a really good 3-point shooter in this league and a good player. He's not playing it like it right now. And I still believe he can turn it around, and whether it's here or somewhere else. A great example that I think someone mentioned in the chat, they brought up this name, and I was thinking about this the other night. Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson is having an amazing career resurgence this year. This is a guy that came out of nowhere. Remember, he's like a D3 guy, goes to Michigan, then he goes to the G League, gets an opportunity, finally gets picked up in Miami. They give him a big deal. And after he gets his contract, I believe it was like 5 years, $90 million, he just wasn't the same. They're attacking him defensively. He's not making his shots. His confidence is down.
It was bad.
What happened to that guy who like came here?
Sharp shooter.
And then late last year, he started to get more opportunity, right? Now this year.
Because Hero is hurt.
Right. And so he got the opportunity with Hero out. They go to him a little bit. And you saw the flashes of, that's the guy that earned the contract. That's the guy that fought for an NBA deal and got there. And now this year, he's more efficient than ever. He's career highs across the board. And so, I think sometimes we're so quick to bury guys. And it's like, dude, this is not... It's fine if that's how you want to run your fantasy basketball team. You're like, hey, Kevin Huerter's not cutting it for me. I'm cutting him, not playing him. But that's not how you should run an NBA team. You got to find ways to get him going. And my mission, if I'm within the Kings, is what can I do to get this guy's confidence back up and get the most out of him, because he is a better player than how he is playing right now.
I know. Malik Monk needs to sell him a jar of confidence.
That's
$1 million.
That's expensive.
It's true though. I mean, not that obviously literally, but it's true. Like, how can he work on finding that confidence? I don't know. I haven't even found how to find that type of confidence not playing professional basketball.
I could tell you some of mine.
Oh,
I'm very similar to
I'll
Malik
take
Monk.
like $5. No,
They do call me the Malik Monk of podcasters.
no, you call yourself the Malik Monk of podcasters.
The chat, I read like 4 of them just a few minutes ago. You're just like Malik Deuce. Just wait, they're coming in. You probably have to scroll up. There's just so many.
I'd pay $5 for a jar of Deuce confidence, because I feel like it would just be like a quick whiff, like you smell it and you're like confident for 5 minutes.
What? But here's the only problem though.
What?
If sometimes I need my confidence filled back up, I need a little affirmation, But when I get a little touch of affirmation,
no, but Deuce begs for affirmations, and like he just wants to be validated.
Yeah, see, drunken liquor. We all call Deuce that. Did you know that Malik means Deuce? Oh, oops. Well, I keep hitting the thing and it just plays automatically. I hit the table and it just plays. My bad.
Knock it off. Do you need validation now? You okay?
Yeah.
Affirmation.
Okay, so we've hit a lot. We need to get to our rock and soul player of the game.
Oh, well, I already know who it is.
Well, tonight I got to give some love to a guy who stepped up. Harrison Barnes tonight. Harrison Barnes, our rock and soul. I'm just kidding. Harrison was good, but it's Malik Monk. Come on.
Hey!
37 points, 9 assists, and he probably had more assists on the table, according to him, if Sabonis didn't miss some bunnies. He was 12 of 20 shooting. He was 7 of 13 from 3. Malik Monk, our rock and soul player of the game yet again.
Oh, I love it. He deserves it. I mean, like we said, the energy.
There's some rock and soul diner, Morgan, at 10th and S in Sacramento.
Oh, everyone deserves that. And because there's lots of fun deals on Friday and Saturday nights. Oh, so starting this Friday, after the game, go to Rock and Soul and you can get 50% off your entire bill. So Friday and Saturday nights, go to Rock and Soul for 50% off your entire bill after Kings games. Those are after Kings game nights. But otherwise, if you just go during an away game or just a game, you can get 50% off appetizers and drinks all throughout the game.
Get me an Eggs Benedict at 7 p.m. That's a win.
Oh, breakfast all day, if you're wondering
I'm big on
why
that.
he's saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, support a local spot, Rock and Soul. 10th and S, just 6 blocks away from Golden One Center. We also have our Sharif Jewelers moment of the game we have to get to. What?
I love that this has evolved from Post-it notes.
Where are my Post-it notes? I don't know where my Post-it notes
There's
are.
like mini Post-it notes in there.
The moment jar has been filled up otherwise.
It's fine. No, it's fine. I like that. It looks full. God, you are like so chaotic over there.
I am chaotic right now because I feel like my I love double overtime games, like from an entertainment standpoint, but from when you're trying to like repackage, like in my head.
Yep.
Morgan knows my pet peeve with the podcast
Oh,
is
yes.
when we finish the podcast and I go, Morgan, I cannot believe I did not mention this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it irritates me so much. And that's why I try to take good notes, but then you forget one thing. Like, for example, second quarter. No, the second quarter
So
gets
long
lost
ago.
in a game like this. Sacramento scored 40 points. The most impressive thing they did in that second quarter that was so fun to watch.
Oh, I know.
17 fast break points.
Yeah.
Good job. 17 fast break points. Wow, that's crazy.
I love that.
You know what's really insane? The Kings had 19 fast break points at the half.
Yeah.
They finished with 19. God, Orlando, man. They just... Here's something we didn't mention.
What?
How about...
Here
it's
we go.
121, 118
Okay.
after a 3
Okay.
by Orlando. Now I'm going to... It was a Banchero 3. Then the Kings... They can't get anything. Orlando's just rotating perfectly. The Kings can't create. Balls loose, whatever. Harrison Barnes takes that bullshit one-legged three ball. End of shot. Look at it goes
Bang.
in.
Boom.
121, 121.
Couldn't make it was a corner 3 of possession or 2 ago,
Amazing.
but then was like, no. This is the type of 3 where I'm just all in one motion. Beautiful.
Oh.
Way to bail them out. Just great job by Harrison Barnes in that
Insane.
moment. Huge 3. Huge 3.
Love seeing that.
Yep.
We got more of the podcast coming up. We got to get to the moment of the game. We got to talk more about this game. The Kings finally have one day off, but they're right back at it. Coming up on Friday against Toronto. A new look Toronto Raptors
That
team
just
with
beat the Grizzlies.
RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly.
Both.
Scotty Barnes is a stud.
Quickly had a good game tonight, and Scotty Barnes is definitely stud. That's going to be a tough game.
But we need to mention that we're presented by our friends over at Northwest Exteriors.
Oh, good. Almost
you.
their jingle. They're amazing, and I think when you really look at your home and you go, why am I so cold? Or in the summer, why is it so hot? It's probably your windows. I remember for so long, I thought it was something different at my home. And then finally I was talking to Northwest Exteriors and they're like, hey, you want a free quote? And I said, hey, yes, I do. Turns out it can change your entire life, your energy bill, your aesthetics of your home and everything.
Have you talked to Duke the dog that's on the commercials?
Well, Duke did tell me.
Simply the best. Trust Northwest.
That's all he says. So I'm like, okay,
All right,
I'm going to do
You
it.
go up to Duke and you're, hey, Duke, how you doing?
Yeah. Hey, Duke.
Do you want a treat?
No, I don't say that. I go. So, like, why should I get a Northwest?
You
Exterior
saw
windows?
Duke for the first time. You didn't even know what he sounded like.
I did because he's been on a commercial.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, famous Duke. Oh my God, love your work on the commercials. Why should I get Northwest Exteriors windows?
Simply the best. Trust Northwest.
So
I want to voice that dog. It's very similar. Anyway,
poor dog.
this podcast is presented by Northwest Exteriors. You need new windows. You need siding. Go to their showroom in Rancho Cordova. They're big Kings fans. They support us. They do great work. It's a no-brainer. NorthwestExteriors.com because they are simply the best. Trust Northwest. They do windows and siding. You can save money too, and they've got a talking dog. He simply says one thing or a couple words. All he does is say, simply the best, trust Northwest. Simply the best, trust Northwest.
You know what? I would pay $10 for your jar of confidence because the way that you sing is awful, but it is absolutely amazing because you always commit. Always commit. Well done.
Look, man, when you're a star, you're a star.
$15 for a jar of confidence. Moment of the game, buddy.
Good luck. I don't know. You tell me what the moment of the game was in the chat. I would greatly appreciate what you guys think is the moment from tonight's game. I mean, that Barnes 3 was pretty crazy.
The Barnes 3 is a good one because that tied at 121. The Barnes running 3. I loved the moment that Sabonis was staying with Banchero shot clock violation.
And he's all fired up.
And he he bumped his chest.
Banchero fell asleep. What was he doing? He was like, he didn't know the shot clock was winding down.
Loved it. I know.
What was he
I was
doing?
like, have a brain fart.
Monk to Sabonis in the lanes to Scotty C. That was a sweet play.
Okay. That was really good. I mean, Monk's threes alone. There was a lot. You know what's funny? I was thinking about this. If the Kings lost this game, I would still have a lot of positive things. I would, but I would have been like, I would have been more worried about this team and being like, okay, they can't find a way to get a win and battle through, but Orlando could. But I just still felt like there were so many good things about this game. And so I'm glad we get to talk about them after a W.
It was a big W tonight. And it's one of those that you just hope that they can get some momentum going, because I think we're all still kind of waiting for them to like break out and like just have a consistent, game. Like runs happen, I mean, come on, they're runs. But when you're at home, especially, you just don't want these lulls in a season. And I was on pregame tonight and I was talking to you guys about this. I'm like, during an 82-game season, you're just going to have moments where you're not your best. During an 82-game season, we're going to have a bad podcast. Mm-hmm. We had a really bad one about a week and a half ago.
Oh, my God. But that
was one of the worst podcasts we've ever done. And it sticks with, for me, it sticks with you. But you know what you do? You move on. You go, it's one of 82. It's one of 82 plus during a season. And for the Kings, they just can't have these like you can have games where you're off and miss shots,
but then you have to like put together a lot of good. You have to put good basketball together in clumps.
You can't have Charlotte games.
And,
you can't, like tonight. You shouldn't be losing. A 16-point lead at home to a shorthanded team. I don't care how they can be. Like you have to find ways to avoid that type of stuff, and that's why tonight's win was so big, because you just escape. And that's how I felt the other night. I'm like, I don't care that this is kind of weird tonight. They're playing bad. They're missing shots. Just win the game. But how they executed the final 90 seconds was so bad. And my whole point to this is I don't think they consciously go, oh, we could take it easy tonight. Charlotte's in town. Oh, Wagner's out. We're good, guys. Let's just kind of coast here. Like that, you're not thinking about that. But I do think there are times throughout an NBA season, because it's so long, that you take your foot off the gas a little bit. You maybe go, we're at home, we're good. You rely on stuff. And this league is too good. The West is too good to throw away games. But weird shit happens. And tonight's a great example of that in the NBA. Tonight, Oklahoma City lost against Atlanta. A game after their biggest win of the season over Boston, where this morning everyone's talking about them being like, hey, they're championship contenders, blah, blah, blah. I'm super high on OKC going forward. That sounds insane. But my point is, that's the NBA for you, right? Like, you're not locked in defensively. A good team can beat you, a team that can anybody can beat you in this league. Atlanta beat them tonight.
That's why too.
Minnesota got hammered at home tonight.
It happens so much when you look around the league. This type of stuff happens a lot. I think because we saw such a solid, there was consistent solid basketball all of last year, like almost all of last year, even in the losses, there was a lot of consistent basketball, good basketball. And I feel like this year, the strategy for Mike Brown is to challenge and throw so many different things at this team. So it doesn't matter I don't care if they're a better basketball team right now. It's going to ultimately lead De'Aaron Fox, Keegan, whoever it is in the two-man game with this strong-ass DHO with Sabonis. I go, why are we going away from it? But I also understand it, because I think the strategy sometimes too is like right now, as we're 33 games in, we got to make sure that we are capable of doing other things, because the DHO was getting stopped in the postseason.
I get that to a certain extent. But I also go, hey, that was really successful last year, and not every team is going to approach it like it's the playoffs against you.
Yeah.
They're not all going to defend it like Golden State, and they may not have the pieces to defend it either, so don't lose sight of that. And I think that's part of the disjointed offense that we've seen sometimes.
Audio sounds bad.
Okay. refresh. I don't know what's going on, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging with us tonight. I know this has happened a couple of times, so. Morgan's playing it in the background. Yeah, refresh. I have no idea. Man, that is so weird. So weird. It's actually kind of funny listening in the background. Well, now you're hearing what little Deuce sounded when he was 13 years old.
If you turn it down and up or something?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting. I can always repost this whole thing too, so you guys get the good side of it, because I record it back here. I have no idea what the hell's happening, and the audio will sound good. Larry says, I'm kind of digging it. People are digging the helium voice, huh?
This is the real Deuce and Mo. Refresh.
Yeah, you guys, believe it or not, the voices you have heard previously on this podcast, it was all a filter.
Yeah.
This is how we sound normally.
Here we are. What song do you want
I've been
me to sing?
exposed. I've been absolutely exposed in this moment.
You sound like the Chipmunks. Come on.
Unbelievable.
It's probably the hitting of the desk or something.
No, it's not.
Oh,
because they
God.
said it's frozen tonight. I have suspicions, and I have to get it figured out. I think there's been issues with the internet, which makes no sense because we're hardwired with fiber, and now I have to call the company and be like, hey, you got to help us out here because this is getting weird.
Ooh, let's get money back.
We still haven't figured out the moment of the game.
All right, figure out the moment of the game.
Yeah. I mean, here's what I can try right now. Should I turn off the mixer and turn it back on?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, okay.
What else would?
I don't know. Hang on.
1 second.
One, two, one, two,
Test,
1, 2. Test, test,
test.
1, 2, 1, 2 in the place to be.
1,
Test,
2,
test,
1,
test.
2. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's-
Let me see.
Let's see if it works.
Okay, let's see.
This is
Might
a
as
moment
well.
of truth. I love we're finding out while you guys find out. Let's see here. We gotta love live streams.
Yeah.
Turn off mixer.
Oh my God, people are saying pretty bad. Still. Wow. Well, thank God this happened toward the end of the podcast and not. But I was down to like hang out. I mean, yeah.
Here's the good news. I can repost this whole thing and the audio would be great. So I don't know what's happening. Okay, Orlando Kings and Magic tonight. Sharif Jewelers moment of the game. Now I'm all thrown off. Huh? Okay, this is for the audio version. Hold on, let me clap. Hey, Sharif Jewelers moment of the game. Kings win 138-135 double overtime. What's the moment? What's the moment when you close your eyes and you start thinking about this game that comes to mind when you think about this game?
I just imagine Malik Monk knocking down some big threes.
I think it's just Malik Monk. Malik
Yeah.
Monk, 37 points, 9 assists tonight, and just big plays down the stretch.
I
You
agree.
needed big plays. He was there.
He had big plays for you.
Why did you say that?
I was just seeing what my echo would sound like for fun.
I appreciate the chat being good sports about all this.
Yeah.
And it, you know,
They're
it's
so
irritating to me.
sweet.
The chat, at least. The rest of the audience dropped off dramatically, but hey, it is what it is.
Hey, it is what it is.
Let's look ahead to the Kings' next game.
Okay.
The Kings and Raptors, unless there's more to talk about.
No.
Can I just be honest real
Yeah.
fast? I'm completely thrown off right now.
Yeah, no, and
Remember
I was
the whole the confidence bucket?
Yeah.
You know, my confidence has just been depleted, and I need affirmation.
You know what I'm going to say?
immediately.
I got you. So what I'm going to say right now, I personally think we should do a what to watch for the Raptors tomorrow. Okay. Raptors Kings. So then this pod, we close this out nice. So then
even people that go back and watch the video, there's not going to be 30 minutes of this. It'll be just 15 minutes of this. And I think for audio listeners, it's like, hey, we're just not looking ahead right in this moment in time. And that's okay, Deuce. And you're really great at this.
The Kings' next game will be Friday night against the Raptors. Morgan, real fast. Do you think the Kings practice tomorrow? There's no way they practice after a double.
They shouldn't be practicing.
Back to back.
Yeah,
no,
they're not practicing.
Yeah. Good win tonight. Good win tonight. Some nights you have to find a way. My final thoughts. I'll go first tonight.
Please.
My final thoughts of this one. They needed a win no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care the circumstances. And what I did appreciate tonight was the compete level.
Yes.
I appreciate the fact that they lifted up De'Aaron Fox. I think so many times this year we've seen situations with the Kings in which they rely so much on Fox that you wondered, all right, what's going to happen when Fox has a bad night? And tonight, Keegan stepped up after having a stretch of games that weren't good.
Yeah.
Right? And then you had Harrison have some nice moments. Trey Lyles with some good moments. Malik Monk, Sabonis. And that's what teams do. You're not going to be good every night, even your best guys. And that's why you have a team. You hope that you guys could rise up and make up for it. And it was big time shit. I appreciate it. And I appreciated the Orlando Magic fighting their asses off. That's a good team. Jamal Mosley deserves a lot of credit for having those guys prepared, ready, no matter the circumstances. That team's grinding right now. They're 19-15. They're better than that 19-15 record. They're going through it injury-wise and a tough schedule. I like that team.
That's the type of basketball game I really enjoy watching. And both teams, like you said, battled it out, gave us a performance that was just so enjoyable to watch. Sure, everyone's going, wait, when the Kings have the 16-point lead, don't you want it to stay there? That's just not how it's always going to work in this league. And that's not how it's always going to work against a good, scrappy, tough team, good like the Orlando Magic.
The only reason I was doing this is because someone said that
Orlando
the Twitch
Magic.
stream. The only reason I was doing this is because someone said that
Orlando
the Twitch
Magic.
stream. The Twitch stream is working. It's YouTube. YouTube's having issues.
Oh, so do we need to fight YouTube?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get final thoughts. YouTube, you're dead.
You are dead to us. Appreciate everyone on the YouTube chat for staying patient during the weird YouTube thing going on tonight with our stream.
We'll get 'em.
You guys are the absolute best. If there's anything we missed about tonight's game that you're going, how'd you not mention this? Please mention in the comments below. Post away, debate. We all chat there too. We love you guys so much, but we gots to go.
Thank you for joining us, for lasting through even some fun little voices. We appreciate you guys so much. Have a good night.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you